Welcome to an unboxing video. I am unboxing something to show you what you will be receiving if you are taking part in the Tilda Flower Branch Embroidery Community Sew Along that the Workroom is doing. But what I wanted to do is just orient you into what you'll be pulling out of your boxes. Spoiler alert, don't watch this if you don't want to see what's inside your box, if you just want it to be a surprise. But it's not really a surprise, but if you want to wait until you get your box, then come back and watch this then. But I wanted to just make sure that folks understood how I packed things because I did think a lot about it. And we do have some unusual size boxes that folks will be receiving, namely sort of this crazy size box. And it's really just because of the Stripology ruler that quite a few of you are getting. So we had to go to a very big box. It was the biggest, smallest box that we could get to fit the ruler, plus all of the other elements. So I just thought it would be fun or helpful maybe just to go through what you're getting and how I packed things so that you understand and that you don't think that you're missing anything. So here we go. So this is one of the bigger kits. So obviously if you didn't get the bigger kit, I'll show you a smaller box as well. But this is for a deluxe order. So someone who got the batting, the backing, and all of the quilt front elements as well. So when you open up your box, you're going to find a little welcome note from me. So you want to look for that. That should be inside there. Then you're also going to find your fabric. So first off, we've got, everyone's going to be getting the chambray fat quarter bundle. So that will be the 28 piece, and that's pre-made. So those are all tucked inside and that takes up a bit of room. So you're also going to find your additional greens. So 4 of the greens, you need a little bit more. There's an extra 1/4 of a meter. So that's going to be tucked in, folded. They're all just rolled in and folded inside each other. So you've got your greens, and then whatever your backing was that you chose, whether it was the putty or the gray, you're gonna find your piece of your background fabric. And this fabric is meant to be, you've got enough for your background and also your binding. So there are a few kits where comes in 2 pieces. So you'll have a 3.5 meter piece, or you'll have a 3 meter piece and a 1/2 meter piece. So everyone's getting the same amount of yardage. It doesn't really matter because for everything that you're doing with this fabric, you're cutting it down into strips. It was just the way that things ended up getting cut off the bolt. So you're gonna have your background, whatever that was that you chose, a lot of putties. And then if you got the back of the quilt, so the reverse side of the quilt, you're gonna have a very nice, beautiful chunk of the sage. And that's enough to do your whole back of your quilt when you get there. And then we've got the batting. So again, this is with the deluxe kit. There's 2 meters of the batting. And then at the very bottom of your box, I've put the labels. So everyone is getting the labels who got a kit. I've tucked them at the bottom of the box because I was just a little bit worried that the ink might come off on the fabric. So you'll find them at the bottom of the box facing away from the fabric. And there's 2 sheets. So it's 140-ish labels. So I wanted to just mention about the labels. So for the labels, the first part of the labels is there's 1 label for every one of your fat quarters. In the workroom notes that you're getting, I have given you a guide with the order. So the order that this bundle is stacked in, I've written that out for you so that you know exactly which color is which. So depending on whether or not you're planning on pre-washing your fabric, you're either going to want to take this and pre-wash it and then label it, or you're going to want to take this and undo it and then label it. So either way, I would recommend looking at the colors in reference to the list so that you have a sense of which color is which. Again, because some of them are a little bit confusing. But it does also give you, on the downloadable PDF pattern, it does give you sort of images. So you should be able to figure it out. But again, if you're not sure, you can always post a question and ask if you need some clarity on which color is which. But hopefully that makes it fairly clear. But then you can use these labels. The first set of the labels on top here is for you to label your individual colors so that you just know, and again, you don't get mixed up on which color is which. So you've got your labels, you've got your batting, which I'll take out here, and then any of the additional tools and supplies that you might have ordered. So this kit also has, or this person also ordered the Stripology ruler, and so that's why anyone who's getting the Stripology ruler is getting this very big box, and it's just the box that fits everything. So that is one of the bigger kits. That's how it comes together. So let me just put this away and I'll show you all of these elements. Labels on the bottom. So again, I've kept the labels onto the very bottom. The greens, the bundle, and the welcome note. So just to show you the smaller kit, if you just got the regular kit, which most people did, again, when you open up the box, you're gonna find your welcome note. Then there will be your stack of the 4 additional 1/4 meters of green. And then if you ordered the grid guide, the little template for viewing the pattern a little bit more clearly, that's tucked underneath. I didn't want that to be on the top of the package. I wanted it to be protected. So you'll find this, if you ordered it, tucked underneath some fabric under one of the stacks. It won't be right on top, so don't worry if you don't see it. And then, oh, here's a good example. So this, you're gonna find your background. And so this one is in 2 pieces. And again, that's just, everyone's getting the same amount of fabric, but because it's all getting cut up into strips, you don't need to have it all in one piece. And so this one could be set aside for your binding, and then you can use the rest of it for your background. Then you'll have your bundle inside, and then at the bottom, I'll just show you, the labels are facing down and away from the fabric. I've never had an issue, but I just had a vision of ink on chambray putty. So these are at the bottom. So that is the unboxing of the kit. They're on their way, or they're heading on their way to you starting right now, basically tomorrow. And I hope folks will post photos and share when they get them, and let us know whether you're thinking of pre-washing, if you have any questions about the kits when they arrive. And I'm excited to get started. So hopefully this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. We're gonna get started very soon. Can't wait for everyone to get their fabric. Thank you so much. Have a great day.